all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
I want to quickly first ask that is there a risk while making a sequel of something so successful and which is so clearly in everybody's mind? Because comparisons are always there, you know.
Of course there is. We had to make sure it was as good as you can possibly make a film. You know, Tom always referred to it as you got to hit a bullet with a bullet. So we worked very hard. We had terrific writers working with us. Joe Kosinski is a fabulous director who came on to direct the movie. Tom can do everybody's job. He's a terrific actor. He's a better producer than I am. He surrounds himself with great people. So when you have excellent people around you, you can make a really good movie.
I have to ask this, what took you guys so long to make another sequel?
Well, it's not that we didn't try. We just never came on with the right story. But, you know, we all went off to make other films. You've seen my filmography. You've seen Tom's filmography. So we went on to do work with other people. And finally, this came together thanks to Joe, who figured out a story that Tom wanted to make and we all wanted to make.
Right. You've been part of some of the most successful franchises. You've given the world some of the most popular action films. Is there anything in particular, that one thing that you always look for when you're creating or looking out for scripts and creating a world of its own?
Do I want to see it? I don't know what you want to see. I don't know what the audience wants to see. I know what I like. I mean, someday what I like, somebody else, the audience won't like. So then I'll be out of the business. But right now, I still think I can make films that audiences will enjoy.
Right. The obvious question, will there be a third part? Will Top Gun also become a franchise?
You know what? Let's enjoy this one. Let the audience experience it, and then we'll see what happens. But we're thrilled to bring this one to audiences. It took a long time. We filmed all of it practically. The actors were actually in the jets. It took 3 months to train them. It took 15 months to figure out how to get the cameras in there. We got 6 of them in the cockpit. What you're seeing, they actually experienced. You can see it on
right.
the faces. It's all very real.
Right. What's your favorite moment from Top Gun Maverick?
I think the scene with Iceman. I think that's a terrific scene. It's always about the emotion. You know, storytelling is, it's a roller coaster ride. We take you up and we take you down and we bring you back up again. But we want the audience to experience what we experienced making the movie, which was so much fun. We want to take you away from your life for a couple hours, enjoy what we do, and so you can feel better when you walk out than when you walked in.
You guys also went through some kind of training before, the filming started?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it was a really intense training schedule that Tom set for us. Him not being an aviator and having gone through the process of like G tolerance and building that, maintaining it. So he set up this plan for us to try to get to that level or as close as we could. That started off with a Cessna to get our body used to just even the idea of taking off on a small aircraft, to then an extra 300, L-39, which is the first jet that we got on. And then finally, after 3 months or so, we got to go up on our first F-18 ride before eventually doing 15 hours on it. So it was this small progression of like increments to build our tolerance up to be able to like get on one of those dragons. It literally feels like a wild beast it's a different type of power that I'm like,
it's like being strapped to a rocket.
Yeah.
There's nowhere around it. We started out with a little bit of classroom time too, just learning the basics of flight. And then from there, like Danny said, went through that flight program, as well as this very intense swim training program that we went through.
Nemo over here.
Yeah, we swam with the U.S. Open Water Olympic swim coach a couple days a week. Yeah. All in preparation for a swim test that doesn't make it to film, but it's the only way that we can actually get into F-18s is to pass this test that Navy pilots have to actually pass every couple of years in case they ever have to eject over water.
That'd be a cool sequence, I think, the underwater sequence.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Next one.
Oh
Yeah, it's
no.
underwater.
Is there any kind of there is a certain amount of pressure when you're part of a hugely anticipated film, a sequel of a cult classic? Is there a pressure as an actor?
There is some pressure in it because there's a lot of eyes that will be on this film, and a lot of people are looking to tear it down, because you hold so dear a film that was like, I don't know, it inspires so many people. You hold it so dear to your heart that you don't want anybody to touch it. So when people sit there and say like, oh man, they're making another one, they're gonna ruin it, it does add that type of pressure. But I think we had the perfect people were cast in this role. So Tom, Denise Chamey, and Joe, everybody did a great job at hand selecting the characters that are in this film. And we all went in with the attitude of like, no, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna get done. We're gonna tune out the outside noise. And we did our damnedest to not replicate the first one. That was like the objective, like, no, we're not trying to mimic it, we're making our own. And I think we have our own identity to it. And so far it's been received very well. And I hope it continues to do well.
Yeah, I think the first days on set, the first days we were flying the F-18 and seeing Tom, also how just the stakes felt so, we kind of caught flow. And I think at that moment the pressure left because it's like, oh no, this is cinematic history already.
Yeah.
So then the moment we were already crossing that threshold, it was like, no one's ever been on the F-18 before and filmed a movie. Like this is one of one. And the moment we did that, I'm like, oh, this is singular. This is like, it's in its own plane of existence, because even though sure it is this unbelievable cinematic experience, it's also cinematic history as it was happening. And the moment that like we started doing that, I was like, oh, pressure's off. It's like, this is just is exploration time, and we're gonna explore and find the best story here.
Yeah.
I do think there was a responsibility that we all found in both representing the original film and what Tony Scott created and what Tom and Val and that original cast created. And then also taking a step outside of film, I think there was this responsibility that we all shared in representing the men and women who get up in jets, and fly every single day, aviators all across the world who risk their lives every single day, right? I think there was a responsibility, and I don't want to use the word pressure, but I think there was a responsibility that we all took in making sure that we represented them in a way that honored what they do every single day.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.